For more than 60 years, Leave It to Beaver has been available to watch in one way or another on television. And much of the appeal of this iconic TV show is the relationship between brothers Wally and Theodore Cleaver, played by Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers. It was a relationship that felt real. Both Wally and the Beav acted the way that you would expect them to act. Sure, there were times when Wally was annoyed or put off by his brother's antics, but at the end of the day, they were true friends and would always have each other's back, even when that scallywag Eddie Haskell was around. Growing up, I saw this play out time and time again with the kids in my own neighborhood. Sure, little brothers and little sisters were a pain in the rear sometimes, and as such, they deserved all of the teasing and heckling that older siblings would throw their way. But you know what? They were also family, and nothing should ever get in the way of that. You know, the funny thing about Leave It to Beaver is that even though Tony Dow was the big brother on the show, ironically, he was really the Beaver in his real-life family, because he only had an older brother and he was the youngest. Jerry, on the other hand, was the eldest of 4 kids, so he was actually the Wally in his own real family. And although they had real families to go home to, over the course of those 6 TV seasons, Tony and Jerry became great friends. They've credited that to a lot of different things. Part of the reason that their friendship became so strong is just the sheer amount of time that they spent together during a period in their lives when both of them were not only experiencing a lot of change on screen, but in real life as well. However, both Jerry and Tony are quick to credit the positive influence of their TV parents. Both Hugh Beaumont and Barbara Billingsley were great role models for the boys, and in between takes, they often demonstrated through their own actions how to treat coworkers and friends with love and respect. And because of that, Jerry and Tony remained lifelong friends with both of their TV parents, and they have modeled those behaviors throughout their own lives. Also, some of the credit for their lifelong and enduring relationship has to go to the show's writers, Bob Mosier and Joe Connolly, who ensured that the relationships on screen felt real and authentic, and they worked very closely with all of the cast on many different aspects of the show. Leave It to Beaver was truly a labor of love for them as they took many of the things that were going on in their own homes and transported them to the tiny screen with their scripts. End of the day, like I said, more than 60 years have passed, and you get this. Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers, they're still friends. A few years ago, when the two appeared on the Today Show together, Mathers compared Tony to that lifelong friend that you've had since your school days. I believe his exact words were, "If anything goes on in our families, we know about it." I've got to say, that's pretty darn cool. So often you hear about co-stars that don't get along on set, and then when the show ends, they never speak again. Not only did Leave It to Beaver reflect a simpler time, but it also taught us through the actions of Wally and the Beav about things like loyalty and trust, and that friendship needn't be as complex as sometimes we make it. Speaking of Leave It to Beaver, if you haven't joined the Leave It to Beaver fan club on Facebook, you're really missing out. It's such a great community full of warm-hearted conversation about a wonderful TV program from years gone by. It's super easy to find. Just type in Leave It to Beaver fan club in the Facebook search box, and before you know it, you'll be part of the conversation about Wally, the Beav, Larry, Eddie. Well, you get it. All of the wonderful characters that were part of this great show. Yep, thank heavens for programs like Leave It to Beaver. It's one of my favorite shows to binge watch whenever I get the chance. Alright, please share your memories in the comments section, and while you're at it, I would appreciate a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and what the heck, why not consider subscribing to my YouTube channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.